I want to talk about video because there were a lot of questions about our video streaming and when the stuff is online and I don't know. So my first thoughts are about video. This is the Kamailio video channel on YouTube. You can access it and you can see here that the videos from yesterday are already online. So you can access them. No. That's it, and that's all about the video stuff. Then another announcement because of the video. I want to say thank you to Jan. Jan is this guy. He's our operator. And he does a lot of stuff in the background, and it's really a tough job to concentrate 3 days to presentation of some guys and do a live mixing. So I think he does a good job, and thank you, Jan, for doing this. In real life, he's a developer, so please ask him something about coding because he's frustrated because everybody says, oh, fancy video, blah, 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 blah. And he's not a camera guy, he's just a developer. He's only a developer, so treat him as every other person. Okay, enough about video stuff. Today we want to talk about Asterisk Queues and Lua. For sure I have Gummy Bears with me, who was here last year, knows about the best gummy bears of the world. Oh yes, James can tell you. Thank you. No, only 1 packet per person. No, you can earn them later, you will see. We talk about Asterisk Queues and Lua. Pasquay, who I told you last year who we are, from where we are, what we are doing. I just skip it. If you're interested in what we are doing, pascom.net/who. Then you can watch the last year's video and see what we do and why and so on and so forth. And on my side, this is Thomas. Last year I did the presentation alone, and it turned out that I don't know anything about something. So here is our CTO. I'm just here for your entertainment. He's here for your knowledge. So hopefully, as a team, we can fulfill your expectations. The requirements. So I just start with the customer requirements. Why we did something with the Asterisk Queues and why not, and what we did change and so on and so forth. We wanted Asterisk Queues to be able to make skill-based routing and fair queuing. Who knows what skill-based routing is? Many of you? Yes? You don't? All of you? No. Unbelievably. Yeah. Yeah, you will learn something. So what is skill-based routing? Because you know it if you are out of a call center environment or something like this, or a contact center, something like this. If you are a carrier, maybe you don't know anything about that because it's what the customer really needs on site and for handling many calls at once. So skill-based routing is something like you have 1 queue. You know what a queue is in Asterisk? Who does not know what a queue is in Asterisk? Yeah? Okay, so there is a queue in Asterisk. Skill-based routing does mean that you have only 1 queue, 1 big queue, and if a call comes in, you label the call with skills you need. So you say, this caller wants to speak English, or he wants to know something about Linux, something about Kamailio, something about Asterisk, and then you label the call, and then it picks out the right agent out of the system. So this agent can speak to 80% English and know something about 20% about Asterisk, so choose this guy. This is skill-based routing. Okay? Can we agree on that? Other opinions on what skill-based routing is? Anybody who implemented skill-based routing in his system, somewhere, somehow? 1. Another one. Who was there? Skill-based routing. What Hayden? Sorry. For hitting you, you get also a package of gummy bears. Okay, so somebody knows something about skill-based routing. We changed the picture, okay. Change it back. Okay, this is skill-based routing and fair queuing. I will explain in a minute. So normally, how do you solve skill-based routing? You set up a lot of queues. So you have a queue where there is agents logged in which are English and know something about Kamailio. Then you have a queue with German guys which know something about Kamailio. You have queues with French guys, they know something about Kamailio. And the problem is, if you have, like the customer had 4 languages, 10 topics, and you're working for 3 brands, then you have 4 by 10 by 3, so 120 queues you need to maintain. And it's frustrating. Did anybody solve it like this? Yes? Okay. Did it work? Do you like it? Okay. So this is the basic problem you have with skill-based routing. Then there is another problem. This is fair queuing. If you introduce skill-based routing, then you can have the following situation. I can explain it. These 3 guys want to talk about Kamailio because it's the main topic of your company. This one guy wants to talk about Microsoft products. No. He wants to talk about Asterisk, okay? Something like this. And the problem now is you have an agent, let's say, because it's easy, you have only one agent, and the agent has the skill Kamailio and the skill Asterisk. So he can talk to the blue persons and to the red persons. But you think both of the callers are important. So what would happen in the normal scenario? He would talk to him, to him, to him, to him, and then to that guy. So this guy has to wait very long because he has the wrong topic, and many people with other topics are in front of him. So you need something like fair queuing. So this guy should be the first, then this one, because he's for the other topic, and you should be able to add some rules how you want to treat your callers. So this was a challenge. Then it has to be flexible. If you're in a call center environment, then there is a new customer and he says, hey, I now want to make a new business model. You should do it like, I don't know, and calculate something completely new and do a completely new distribution. This should work. This should work, and you should be able to adapt it. Who of you uses Asterisk Queues? Almost everybody? No, some of you. So how many call strategies are there? 3, 4, depends on how you calculate. 6, I don't know. So a limited amount of call strategies, and they do what they do, and they do it relatively good. But if you want to change something in how you distribute the calls, you cannot adapt the system for now. Or, you cannot. Then we had no idea what to do. So we listened to the people, as always. When you don't know what to do, listen to people and ask him. Ask somebody. Do you know what is the go-to person for Asterisk? Matt. So we asked Matt. And Matt said, use ARI. So the complete business logic of you should be implemented in ARI. Do you know what AppQ does? It does a really good job. It does a really great job in many cases. So can you imagine how much effort it is to re-implement everything that AppQ does for you in ARI? We tried to think about this. And how long did we think about this? 10 minutes?
I will tell you in my part.
Yeah, he will tell you something about that. But it was not a good idea for us at all, so we didn't do this. So we were inspired by another guy, this guy, maybe you know him. And he said, use Amazon services and local law does not matter. There was a big discussion last year about law and how you can do it. And we thought in this direction, make it distributed, make it fancy like he does. So he makes really great presentation. It's sad that this year he's not here, I think. But he makes great presentations. And so far, his opinion. And it inspired us, but we could not do it like this. Then we had another guy, this one. And while I made my talk, he tweeted, I think we have to ban the word PBX from VoIP conferences in order to be able to move forward. Yep. Yeah. You said that, and I said, okay, then we shut down our company because 80% is PBX in our company, and what to do, and we were really sad what to do, and it was really hard for us to hear that. But this year, he says, hosted PBX challenges. So he still cares about us, and I really appreciate that because it's important for us to be that somebody cares about. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So this is really good that now we can exist longer and you care about us with a slide and something like this. That's good. So enough for your entertainment. Now we go to the solution and I hand over to Tom. Thank you.
So, hi guys, you can hear me, yeah? Okay, so I will tell you how we tried to implement this. So, step one is we sit down in our tower and started thinking. How many developers are here? A lot, okay. How many of you employ developers? Also quite a lot. So what happens if you sit some developers in the room and let them alone for a couple of time? What they come up with? Civilization, maybe, yeah, right. Civilization 6 or 7, probably. So everybody wants to get in the newest stuff that is available, the coolest thing that is around, something that he always wanted to do. And so usually the first idea is we build something like this. The greatest system in the world. We throw out everything that we have. Time doesn't matter, effort doesn't matter. We use the hottest things that are around. And yeah. That's cool. Everybody steps out of the room, is satisfied, of course, because we're doing something big and cool, and goes home. And on the next day, we come back and ask the boss, can we do it like this? No. Boss says, no, it's too expensive. You never finish it. Also, did you think about the customer's requirements? What customers? What requirements? We want to build something cool. Yeah? So, okay, but it doesn't help. We need to obey because he pays the salaries. I don't have a chance. So we sit down again. And the good thing about sitting down again is everybody already knows the problems and the challenges. And so this time we tried to build something as simple as possible without throwing out anything. We want to stick with what we have already and just improve it a little bit. And so actually, rather than building the spaceship, we wanted to build something like this. Something small, flexible, which does the job for the customer that pays us at the end. So, what we did is, we sticked with AppQ and patched it. So I had a small chat with Matt yesterday. Maybe we can submit the patch. For now, it's available at the GitHub. And actually, we made a few things in the AppQ scriptable with Lua. So Lua was the choice for us because it's already a part of Asterisk. We didn't need to add yet another engine, Python or something else, no new dependency to the build system, something like that. It's already around. You can use it for doing dial plan things, right? And so the interpreter was there, and we needed something that we can use for scripting. And so rather than just adding one new strategy for this customer and another new strategy for the next customer, we didn't add a strategy. We made the strategy scriptable. And we did it just by doing very few changes to the AppQ. So in fact, you can have a new parameter where you can load your script or not. So it can behave like a normal queue, but optionally you can add this scripting file. And in the script, you just implement functions. One for which agent to choose, and another one for which call do you want to distribute next. And so only with these two callbacks, you can implement, in example, the skill-based routing, or also the fair queuing algorithm. But you can also do something completely different. It doesn't matter. So at the end, we didn't implement skill-based routing. We implemented a scriptable queue. Yeah. And like already said, you can use it to really choose the next caller. So you can treat it as a queue. Always use the topmost call. You can choose the call that is just about to cross the line of the service level you want to hold. You can choose the red guy instead of the blue guy if you want to, or if you pay more than the blue guys. And also you can choose really the next agent, if he's available, of course. Yeah, actually that's what we did. So for now, you can use it freely. It's GPL, of course. So you can go to GitHub and grab it. There's also some documentation for it. And like already said, we try to get it into Asterisk if possible. For now, it's compatible with Asterisk 11 only. That's what we use in production at our customers. And so that's also one point why we didn't go to ARI, because we would have to switch from 11 to 13. But of course, we try to adapt this patch also for Asterisk 13. Yeah, actually, that's what we did. Now I'm open to your question, if there are any. Any questions? Here's one question.
How do you do logging out of the
Wait, you get a microphone. Then I can hear you.
Yeah, how does it interact with logging, with queue logs, or generated events in general, so you can report?
Yeah, that's a very important question. Actually, we didn't want to break the ecosystem around the app queue. A lot of applications are relying on the queue log, Qmetrics in example, and in fact, we implemented this together with Qmetrics to have these skills also visible in statistics and so on. It still writes the queue log, of course, and if you want to write custom entries in it, you can out of the Lua script. So in this Lua function blocks, you have a couple of mapped functions directly from Asterisk, and one of them is write something in the queue log if you want, or just output some log or a CLI message or whatever you want to do. So there are not many of these functions, but where we thought it's useful, in example, a queue log, we provide a function for it. More questions? Here is one question.
Okay, so you got a Lua script. Is this dynamic in any way? Can we get this reading rules out of a database, or is it all incumbent within the script itself?
So usually we try to avoid too many dependencies when we do stuff like this. Every dependency has the problem of being unreliable in production, and so we use it mainly for reading stuff out of channel variables, where we get the requirements for the call. And for the agents, we have static tables, actually, where I have the skills of the agents. Because if I can speak English today, I can likely speak it tomorrow. And if I cannot speak English today, I cannot speak it tomorrow. But of course, you can have dynamic behavior in it by reading files, reading other Lua things, doing HTTP calls, whatever you can do with Lua. You have file I/O in it, you have HTTP, and usually that's what you need to do things dynamically. So we're still working on this extension, of course, and one of the next versions will feature access to the ASDB. So that's also one way how you can get dynamic behavior up to some extent. Yeah, that's what you can do. So it's not static.
This question triggers another question for me. If you change the Lua script, do you need to reload or restart Asterisk to make it effective?
If you want to change the script, you do a reload, like you would change the dial plan. So if the queue gets reloaded, it checks if the file is changed, and it will throw out the old Lua context and initiate a new one with a probably changed script, and then you get the new. So you don't need to restart the asterisk, but you need to do a reload like if you would change the dial plan.
Cool.
How did Asterisk react? Do they plan to implement this in their main branch?
Actually, we didn't tell them up front, so we're outing today. Another question? Okay.